With great money comes great responsibility. In 2024, the fighting games community might have a totally unexpected test of big money and possibilities coming from the outside world, and specifically from the Middle East. In this video, we're going to be talking about the opportunities and the threats that the Esports World Cup brings to us. The FGC had an excellent year, and 2024 is looking even more promising. We're eagerly waiting for the Tekken 8 release, optimistically looking into the future development of Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1, and lots of other titles are doing great stuff. However, you can't be isolated from the world, especially when it comes to traditional esports. Next year, the Esports World Cup, former Gamers 8, will bring lots of money to the esports scene. And we wouldn't have talked about it if it was just a matter of enormous prize pools. History knows examples of tournaments with outrageously generous prizes that left almost zero impact. In 1997, Dennis Fong, aka Thresh, won the Red Annihilation Quake tournament to receive the keys to John Carmack's personal Ferrari 328, but it didn't cause an esports boom. Speaking of something more modern, the Fortnite World Cup had quite a mind-blowing prize pool, but do we speak of Fortnite as the ultimate esports title? Unfortunately not. So why are we talking about the Esports World Cup? The reason is quite simple, because of the club awards. This simple yet powerful concept may lead to significant consequences in the FGC. The club awards is a special prize pool that is distributed to the most successful clubs across many titles. Last year, the winner of the Gamers 8, Twisted Minds, received $1.5 million, and even the 8th place, Ninjas in Pajamas, earned $100,000. No big international esports club would dare to refuse such money, because currently, the esports world is trying to survive the so-called esports winter. The market correction where little investments are coming into the industry, and many sponsors are reconsidering their approach to esports since its fans and audience didn't bring as much money as expected and promised. As such, esports teams have fewer revenue sources and wouldn't refuse the extra money. You may object that this is the problem of traditional esports and not the FGC, so why should we even bother? After all, FGC has more sustainable model and everything is great for us. You would be correct, but as mentioned earlier, you can't live isolated from the outside world. Gamers 8 included Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 6 competitions. And while the Esports World Cup, the Gamers 8 successor, has yet to announce the titles in its lineup, the chances are very high that at least one fighting game will be present there. Because of that, some of the traditional esports powerhouses will likely hunt the most established or talented fighting games players. To prove that point, let's have a look at a couple of examples. One of the most popular esports clubs in the world, Nadas Vincere or Navi, has recently signed a Polish StarCraft 2 player, Spirit. From the outsider's perspective, this makes little sense. The organization closed its StarCraft 2 division in 2013, and frankly speaking, the game and its ecosystem haven't changed that much during these 10 years. Yet, they signed a player who was 9th at the Gamers 8. Did you know that we launched the DashFight Awards 2023 voting on our website? There, you can vote on 13 categories like Player of the Year, Most Anticipated Upcoming Game, and Ultimate Fighting Game of the Year. Check the link in the description and go vote to make sure your voice is heard. Another example is G2 Esports, a well-known European organization who entered a partnership with Chinese club Invictus Gaming, and the Dota 2 roster will represent both clubs. The Dota 2 ecosystem is now turbulent, and it is a far cry from its prime days. Yet, G2 Esports, who have never entered the Dota 2 scene before, suddenly decided to do it, and they chose quite an interesting form of partnership. The rules of club awards state that 2 clubs can represent a team if one is not participating in other Esports World Cup competitions. Invictus Gaming is heavily focused on the Chinese region, and it may be one of the few regions where the esports winter is mild. G2 gets to participate in the Esports World Cup without paying full price for the roster. As for Navi, they pay money to only one player, and it is doubtful that those expenses are that great. But his results at the Esports World Cup may bring a 6-figure sum that will be more than enough to recoup the investment. And if esports clubs are looking towards such games as StarCraft 2, why wouldn't they focus on fighting games? If we look at the players who qualified for the Tekken World Cup Finals, at least 3, Kokoma, Lohai, and Tibetano, are not signed by anyone. Also, we have serious doubts that the current requests of the people in the FGC are so big that esports clubs will have difficulties fulfilling them. That's why we expect some big signings in the upcoming several months. At first glance, this looks like a win-win situation. The best players get decent money, travel support, and the opportunity to experience major events comfortably while fully concentrating on the competition. And clubs have a great chance to invest relatively little money and have significant returns. Moreover, some fans of these esports clubs may start following fighting games after their favorite organization signs some players. And even if they quit, the FGC may grow because of new and passionate fans. Considering that the fighting games community is grassroots oriented, this may lead to something bigger and better in the future, even if it is a party-like competition for a dozen players in the bar. This seems like a great outcome, right? However, the Esports World Cup may be the initial cause of some trends which will not be healthy for the FGC. We already said that the FGC is grassroots oriented. That also applies to the existing fighting games orgs. Not all of them can offer big, juicy contracts to their players, but they provide growth tools and grow together. And when these powerhouses come from outside and take away your hard-earned progress, they may devastate some FGC organizations. Another great threat traditional esports may bring to the FGC is outrageously enormous expectations. We've heard that some potential sponsors are considering fighting games to be the next big thing. However, esports were the next big thing in the mid-2010s. Back then, Valve revolutionized esports by introducing the Dota 2 Battle Pass. The company distributed part of the revenue from in-game sales towards the prize pool of the International, the Dota 2 World Championship. We've seen the prize pools of the whopping 10, 20, 25, 34, and $40 million. The viewership of esports tournaments on free-to-watch platforms also significantly increased. Esports stakeholders were amazed by these numbers and created an esports bubble based on the wrong premises. They had expectations that esports fans are willing to pay for everything and will bring huge amounts of money to the industry. However, we can now safely assume that people were willing to pay mainly for the in-game items, not because they wanted to support esports. Why? Valve again has given us an answer. The International 2023 Battle Pass consisted of only esports related content. There were 0 Immortal or Arcana items, which were the hottest topic during previous years. As a result, the prize pool of the Dota 2 World Championship only slightly exceeded $3 million. Compare that to almost $19 million last year. The difference is too big to ignore. So, wrong thoughts and wrong actions led to the esports winter. The current situation in esports is a payback for undelivered promises, an ever-optimistic approach, and the desire to ride the hype wave while abandoning sustainable business models. The FGC is doing great to save its principles despite the outside influence, and to develop organically while working hard. But big money also leads to big temptations, and a great concern arises. What if bad actors flood the FGC after a successful and fruitful couple of years? Will it be resistant enough to the dark side of the hype? The Esports World Cup may change the landscape of competitive fighting games for better or worse. Let's hope it passes such a difficult test with honor. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Please hit the like button so more people can see this video, and subscribe to our channel for more FGC oriented content. You can also support us over on Patreon and earn exclusive content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.